Welcome to the Win, Make, Give podcast. Chad Hyams here. Bob Stewart way over there somewhere. Bob, how you doing today?
I've been cheating on you, Chad. We were talking about, I've been doing this other podcast with Ben.
Give it a plug.
Oh, it's called Cardboard Wars because we're degenerate. We're degenerate into sports cards right now, and so it's called Cardboard Wars. But we're like breaking down one card each episode. So we just did the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card, and that was the first episode that I was a part of. But here's what I realized: I think I'm pretty comfortable doing these with you, and I feel like I sound much more like myself here. That first episode doing that new podcast, I was like nervous or something. I listened back to it. I'm like, I sound like I'm on cocaine. Like I'm like all just, so I don't know, man. I think you're my happy place here.
Then I will forgive you for cheating on me. Folks, check out Cardboard Wars.
Only if you're a degenerate sports card guy, though, or gal.
Or if you just want to laugh at Bob. Ben, I know, is there. Kevin Kaufman, our friend, is regularly on the podcast as well. I will tell you, there is no card they own at the moment, between all of them, probably worth more than the ones I ruined in my bicycle spokes as a child. And I challenge you to prove it because I have Wayne Gretzky rookie cards and everything.
Hey, you know what? I just bought a Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
And what'd you pay?
It's a PSA 1. I paid like $500.
Okay, so I've blown thousands of dollars in my bicycle spokes or flicking cards against the wall.
Like a Wayne Gretzky PSA 10 is worth $1 million or something insane. I don't know what it is, but yeah, baseball cards are out of control. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, Chad,
I got something else that's out of control. Your hat collection.
We have
talked about
today.
it.
We have a guy today that matches, I think.
That's it. I'm going to segue right there, Bob. I asked you before the call. I didn't give you time to go count, yet you guessed approximately how many hats in your collection.
About 150-ish somewhere.
About 150-ish. And did you know before today, Bob Stewart, anyone with a collection that rivaled yours in the hat industry?
These days, you can go on the
internet.
No,
not just somebody you found on social media claiming they've got 10,000 hats and all that. Have you ever communicated with someone you knew had a collection comparable to yours?
I don't think so, no. So
well, Bob Stewart, I'd like to introduce today's guest to Win, Make, Give, and just bring you down to earth a little, that you're just not as awesome as you thought with that hat collection, my friend. Tell your wife you're not alone in this obsession. We want to welcome Erik Hawke to the Win, Make, Give podcast. Erik, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Erik showed up, folks. We record video just so we see each other, even though we don't share it. Erik showed up wearing this really awesome hat, and it immediately became the conversation. And we have found out that Erik has about as many hats as Bob Stewart does. They're both in trouble with their wives.
And here's the irony is I pretty much only wear this hat, though.
You know, it's funny.
You own 150 and you wear one.
Yeah.
Well, so same thing here, because this is our company and it's our brand. So I wear this day in and day out. And then I've got, on the weekends,
Bob just knows when he's doing a podcast with someone, he will attempt to put on a specific hat to connect to them. Erik, you're much more than a hat collector.
Well, I am thinking about changing my LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well, right?
Yeah.
If Bob and Ben and Kevin are all card collectors now at age 40-something, get over it, Bob. It was a teenage thing. Erik, you're a hat collector, yet you're so much more than it, and we don't read bios. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Wait, real quick before Erik introduces himself. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever stepped into this segue here, Chad, in 500 episodes that we've. I think Erik's name is Erik Huberman.
Correct.
And he owns Hawke Media.
Yes.
He's not.
Hawke Media.
Chad just threw it all together. He's like, "You're Erik Hawke now."
By the way, by far not the first time it's happened. And as I mentioned before we got on here, I get called Ethan all the time too, even though they have no idea why.
I got that part right.
Yeah, I just accepted. And by the way,
Erik Huberman from Hawke Media. Erik, talk to us about who you are. Give us the bio. Give us the right name, etc.
I'm a Scorpio, musician. I've got 2 young kids, 3 and 5 months. Got a bunch of fun personal stuff, but hobby junkie. But I'd say probably what I'm here for is I've been running one of the top marketing companies in the US for the past 12 years, Hawke Media. My background, built and sold a couple of e-commerce companies, and then started doing marketing for a bunch of friends' brands, kind of knew what I was doing. So it started to grow. And now we've got about 250 full-time people. We currently run marketing for somewhere between 500 and 600 brands. We act as their outsourced CMO and marketing team, go in, identify where the holes are, and then spin up exactly what they need when they need it, ebb and flow as those needs change. Mission of the company is to be the best at what we do, but easy to work with. I found that in the marketing world, there's 90,000 marketing agencies in the US. About 99% of them are completely full of shit. The few that are any good are really hard to work with. They're expensive. They only want to work with the Fortune 2000. And so it basically leaves every other company in the US to fend through this sea of muck to try to find a decent partner. And it's really hard. So I couldn't figure out why there wasn't an agency that was the best at what they do, easy to work with, and actually built a name brand for themselves. We're all supposed to be in marketing. Why can't we market ourselves too? So that's been what I've sought out to do is, do really great work, make it really easy to work with, and then make sure that we get our name out there.
And here's the beautiful thing at Win Make Give, Eric. We can talk about your kids. We can talk about because it all encompasses who you are and how you became.
Right.
Yeah, let me just ask to give everybody an idea: who's your largest partner and who's your smallest, so they understand the range of corporation sizes you're working with.
The number one biggest company in the world and smallest. I mean, we've got people like I'm launching my first book. I'm launching my first, I in 3 months, I want to launch my new t-shirt company. Like we start with really like brand new unfunded startups that people are trying to figure out how to get out there through literally the biggest companies in the world. The range is as wide as it could be.
Okay. Bob?
So a couple things. Chad, back in the day, because we used to get hit up by SEO consultants all the time, right? I'd be like, we can help with your SEO. And the very first thing I'd do is I'm like, well, let's see how they rank. Yep. And so you're the marketing guy. And so I'm like, let's see how this guy, like, does he have a following? And you check out, right? Like you got way more followers than I have on the socials and all the stuff. But how important is it for you to show up online as like a powerful marketer of yourself?
Yep.
I would say, do you focus on it? Is it a big part of what you do? Like, because I think there's a certain, like your bona fides present online and for your industry, like they kind of have to present in a certain way. How important is your focus on your own brand?
Yeah. So it's definitely a focus here as one of our marketing channels, but I'd say it's one marketing channel. So there's many hyper successful agencies that do none of it. So I can't say that it's important because you can definitely become successful without doing it, but it is one path to success. And it's been a great driver for us. Like what you just said is a really funny one because we're one of the first people. We also have a venture fund. We invest in a lot of marketing technology. One of the most recent investments is optimizing for showing up in all the LLMs, all the AI tools. And so we started using it. And now the AI tools are different in SEO in the fact that like it actually individually creates the results based on who you are too. So we can't say we're going to show up for this, but I know that a lot of the time now we show up for top marketing agency in the US for Hawke Media because we've been working on it. And of course, people go, I need someone to optimize for me. Well, let's go ask, ChatGPT who? Oh, look, Hawke Media. That's a no-brainer. If they're showing up for themselves, they can help me. Like that definitely helps. But there's other people getting that business in other ways that isn't just that.
I stalk. Chad knows I'm a stalker, right? So I go and like Chad gets all the professional. He gets your bio and all that stuff, and I'm just like, tell me their name. I'm gonna go stalk them on the internet. I saw you had a picture with Gary V, friend to everybody, right? Like we had Gary on years and years ago, and had him for webinars and had him up in Bellingham before he was, the Gary V. But I feel like in marketing, like there's a lot of potentially shiny objects.
Yep.
And Gary was always the like, I'm going to try Vine. I'm going to try this. Yep. I'm going to try that. Like as a company who's guiding people on their marketing, do you guys have do you try to keep blinders up to the new shiny objects that we could be using in our marketing and we're getting called about every day? And kind of what's your approach there to the shiny objects?
What Bob's saying is a lot of our entrepreneurs who are listening need to market themselves better. They don't do a good job. Is there a path they should be following? Should they play with every toy that's out there?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Like you're nailing it. And honestly, a lot of people don't find that intuitively, but like, no, it is not good to be the first mover on every new platform and every new marketing angle because you're actually not. My view of marketing is about 90% of it needs to be just scalable, repeatable. And all of that is stuff that's already been proven out, that's already working, that you're just getting your message out there. Like marketing isn't, people have this misconception that it's about like doing the edgiest thing to grab new attention. And like there is a lot of attention economy stuff in there, but it's actually more about like if you have a great product and you know how to demonstrate it, then it's just about getting to people in a scalable way so that you can have a predictable business. Because from an operational standpoint, you need that. You need to have predictability. You need to have scalability. And so still the vast majority of people, like the top 2 marketing channels digitally for the past 15 years have been Google and Meta. It still is today. Now, there's opportunities with TikTok, there's opportunities with Snap, with Pinterest, with Reddit, et cetera. But those are still the 2 biggest and best and most scalable. And so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Now, where Gary comes in, and I do the same thing, as the leader, you've got to be dabbling in it so that when it's ready to bring to your clients, you have some knowledge in it. So like we were the first agency partner to TikTok. We were one of the first because they did a group of agencies for Snapchat. Like we jumped on board, but it still takes years and years and years to actually proliferate across our clients. We don't just go all in on some new platform. And a lot of people make that mistake. They go all in on like AR, VR, and then that never really ended up becoming a lucrative marketing channel. AI, I think, is a little different. It's more of a picks and shovels thing. So I think that actually has a lot of validity. But
I mean, we came through that. We came. How old are you, Eric? If you don't mind me asking. 38. So you remember kind of there. When Facebook came, there was all these social networks. They were just freaking everywhere. Chad, what was the one where you like checked in? Which one?
Oh, you're talking Foursquare.
Foursquare, right? Like
they were still around. Everything. I'm still probably the mayor of some places.
They're still around, by the way.
I mean, I Googled somebody the other day and MySpace was like the 9th result for their name. And I was like, you still have a MySpace account? That's insane. But man, those things were they were so everywhere. And, people were being encouraged to jump into them. And you got to be the first one and claim your spot and become the mayor and all this stuff. And you're like, you look up 2 years, but sometimes you look up 6 months later and you're like, that website doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that happened with crypto too. I forgot the name of it, but there was a platform that was trying to be the social media platform for crypto. And it just, it went boom and bust real fast.
So what I'm hearing from you is Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram folks, and Google, which of course is Google.
The difference between the two is Meta is where you create new demand for people that aren't even looking for what you do, and Google is where you answer existing demand for people looking for your solution. Like in a nutshell, that's the difference.
It's the blog posts still and the videos on YouTube that are answering the questions that Google wants to see. It's the just finding people that are just searching and don't realize they even want your product. But
they're not even searching; they're just scrolling aimlessly through social media muck and probably some sort of crazy political post one way or the other. And then you go, hey, you're a runner, because they tell you they're a runner. We have these new insoles. You should check these out. That kind of thing. Like you're not searching for them, but yeah.
You said something interesting. I think you just described it, right? We've got these new insoles, and I can just imagine the video because I get these all the time because my kids play sports and he's doing this with the insole and it makes you run faster, jump higher or whatever. I can demonstrate it. Can you talk to me for a second? Because I'm sure you guys work with a lot of companies that have a service. Can you talk to me about demonstrating how do I demonstrate my service? Well, from a marketing perspective, what does that look like?
It really depends on the service. So again, if it's like solution,
sales.
What's that?
Sales.
So let's do ours. And most of our audience, we have a lot of audience.
I didn't know research either. So give me the feedback. What is it?
We have a lot of audience in real estate, Eric. Okay. So they're a real estate agent. Yeah. And my service is I help buyers and sellers.
That was my first job. I invest in it, and I have a family office on the real estate side, but my first job was real estate agent. So
so this is just right in your wheelhouse. How do I demonstrate that?
Yeah, let's do it. So you're obviously trying to reach people to work with you. Does anyone doubt, when you're out there, are you trying to convince someone that they need a real estate agent, or are you trying to convince them to work with you? Which is the challenge?
I think it's likely the second one.
It's definitely the second one. I mean, by the way, I tell my own team, if you're trying to convince someone why they need marketing, hang up the phone. That's not the job here. The job here is why us. So when it's why us, in the book you mentioned that we talk about the 3 pillars of marketing. Our book's called the Hawke method, but the 3 pillars of marketing are awareness, nurturing, and trust. How do you create awareness that you even exist? Then how do you take that awareness and turn it into a customer? That's nurturing. And then how do you, and 75% of people won't buy from someone they don't inherently trust. Before they know who you are, you have a brand, that comes from third-party validation. So what we're talking about here is like, obviously you need to get your name out there and you need to keep in touch with people and follow up and check in and do all those things. That's how you do it in the real estate world, and build the relationships. And getting your name out there could be advertising. It could be going to events. It could be referrals. It could be lots of different things. But still, people want to hire you because they trust you. And depending, are we talking commercial or residential real estate?
Let's say residential.
Right. So residential is much more an emotional thing. That's why I asked the distinction. Because commercial, I want to know why you're the person that has a contact with the buyers and you're going to get me the top dollar and you're going to present this the best. Residential, depending on the seller, and especially if you're talking about more the lower and middle market of homes, not these $5+ million homes, you're talking about people who are just like, I want to know someone that's not going to get me screwed. This is the biggest asset I own generally. Who can I trust that's going to look out for my best interest, get me my best price, make sure that it doesn't go sideways, make sure I don't get blindsided by something? Why are you the trustworthy one? And so how do you establish that? Well, over time, it's reputation. So don't fuck people over. Reputation is really important in the business world. And that's where you get referrals and all that too. But before that, third-party validation is a big one. So it's, press, it's PR, it's, getting written up in the local paper. It's obviously everyone does this knowing why you do it, like showing that you had some great exits. Here are the deals I've sold recently. Here's the people in your neighborhood that trusted me and the prices I got for their homes. So I can look at it and go, oh, well, if you did that for them, now I can feel good about you doing that for me. So it's a combination of like, you want to brag about, brag about the work you've done, but I also don't know who the fuck you are. So you also need to show me that other people, I can see other people trust you too. And here's the fascinating thing about this third-party validation. I don't need to know that other person. So like, good example of this for both of you. You buy things on Amazon ever?
I just ordered something here a little while ago.
Do you ever read the reviews?
I did read the reviews.
Do you believe that most reviews on Amazon are bullshit?
Yes, absolutely.
But you still read the reviews.
I still read the reviews
and found make you feel better about the purchase?
And these are good, but there were more these are good. So I said, okay, I'll pick that one.
Right. And so this is, by the way, I do this all the time because it's really funny because this is kind of like commonly accepted. They're all bullshit, but we all read it. I'm one of them. I say this and I still go to Amazon and read the reviews just to be like, I don't know, like this is human nature. And so you have no idea who those people were, if they're anything like you, but just the idea of some form of third-party validation really helps people. So back to your point, if you're showing up on social media and you're just some random person showing, we just sold this house for this much and we're in this neighborhood, showing here's where we've been written up and talked about and what people have said about this, now you're building trust. And people go, oh, well, I recognize that. Like you're borrowing trust from other people. And so it is better if it can be notable, if you can be in like the main local paper or something. So you know that they lent their trust to you, basically, is what that means. And so they're, for us, like the Santa Monica Daily Press writes about a real estate agent here. Like that means that Santa Monica Daily, they put their neck out to talk about you. There's a little bit of extra trust there. And that starts to get people over the fence and like, okay, I feel more confident in giving, again, what is usually people's by far largest asset into someone's hands to go get them the right price.
Can I ask you a question? So really,
wait, hang on, Bob. So just to finish that thought before I let you shift us. So I should be getting testimonials to put on my Google profile or to somehow organically post on Facebook from people.
I mean, that should be table stakes in terms of like, if you can't get people to recommend you that you've worked with as a real estate agent, you really need to reevaluate how you're handling your clients. Like,
and are those the places to put, like, should I put them on my Google, I should be setting up my Google.
Yeah. And all over your social media and all over, like, it should be everywhere someone's going to look at you. So that when they go, who is this person? Because if it's just you talking about how great you are, and like I see everybody loves to do the like luxury home tours now and build their social media because they show nice houses. None of the people watching, like this is where people really screw up. They're building an audience of people that just want to see cool houses. None of them are letting you list their house. And like maybe that becomes like having a big following then validates you to someone so it can help with that trust. Because it's like, well, shit, if you have this big of a following, you must know something. But you have to, again, it's about just understanding what you're doing, because if not, you can chase a lot of vanity metrics that don't actually make you anything.
They just make you an influencer that nobody really wants to pay attention to just because you have a lot of people following you.
And again, air quotes on the influencer, because like who are you influencing to do what? Because if it's not making you money, what the hell does it matter?
Okay. Bob, you wanted to take us a different.
Well, no, I don't want, I want to stay on this for a second. I see a lot of written testimonials about my real estate agents. Like they got them on the bottom of their website. Jenny said that I'm the best agent in town. They got them on their Zillow profile. They got them on Google. should I continue to get written testimonials, or is there any power in video testimonials? And if I was like a high-powered marketer, would I consider using those in lieu of just the static written testimonials?
I think video authentically. Just go take a selfie on your camera and just be like, hey, like tell people what you thought, or go with them and be like, hey, I'm sitting here, blah, blah, blah. We just sold your house. How do you feel about the work I did? Be honest. Like, make it feel like you're just talking to those people. And like, if you do that, that authenticity, I think, comes through. And this is where you can then share that. You can even run ads behind that and just be like, here's the last house I just sold. By the way, it doesn't have to be the last house you just sold. It could be 3 ago or whatever. Just put that out there. Here's the last house I sold. They're super happy. If you need help with your house, give me a call. Like things like that like just go a little further. I think there was an agent in my neighborhood I was thinking about working with. He's one of the more prominent ones. Showed up a few times, introduced himself, just, hey, I'm selling a house down the street, started to build trust. And then honestly, the guy he was selling my neighbor. I walked out and said hi to him and he introduced himself again. I'm like, dude, you've come to my house like 3 times. What? And that was like a bit of like, okay, never mind. So again, it's that trust and relationship thing that really does happen with building these real estate pipelines.
He over-marketed himself. Like he got out in front of his skis. I always joke with my wife about she over-efficients herself. She's so stinking efficient that I'm like, oh, you canceled that thing before you did that other thing. You over-efficiented yourself. That guy, like, he didn't realize how good his marketing was doing. He forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we just turn this into a marketing clinic, which is thank you for sharing, right? One of the things I heard earlier.
Chad always rains on our parades, Eric. So we were going to have a big fun clinic, and he just crapped on everything.
Taking notes, thinking about reaching out to Eric's organization and saying, I want to grow my coaching business a little bit more. Eric, help me, take it to that next level. So here's my question for you. Early, you mentioned the value proposition that you have, right? Which was being a top marketing company that's easy to work with. I think a value proposition is key to everybody. I think everybody needs to have one. Let's not necessarily talk marketing specific yet. Let's talk the power of a value proposition, how people create powerful ones for those that are challenged, because I'll bet your organization even helps them with that. And Eric, why your organization? Why Hawke Media, not this other list of companies I could put out there for people looking for help?
Well, that's what's fun. So I'm going to actually work backwards on your questions because I think it helps. So for why we exist is actually, and I kind of explained it. And by the way, our tagline is your outsourced CMO. So that's how we talk about it. And what that did, and this was me testing it, literally talking to people till I saw intrigue and interest. Because when I'd say digital marketing agency, which we're not just digital anymore, but when we started, or marketing agency or digital agency, people would be like, fuck off, because everyone's got a horror story with an agency. So they're like, I don't even want to talk to you. When I said your outsourced CMO, they're like, wait, I need that. And what I realized is it immediately connoted high-level strategy and expertise and the execution part. And so it really, figuring out those 5 to 7 words that a company can articulate becomes the critical part. And some people call it a value proposition. I think value proposition is a little different because this is more of like a differentiator, a value proposition, a mission statement all in one. And so that's where I look at it in terms of like where you sit in the market. And I think how that works. But people always ask why Hawke over someone else. I'm like, because anyone that's as good as us won't work with you. It's pretty simple. They're like, and as far as all the other agencies, and there was a great post I was tagged in yesterday by some kid in Argentina, literally like a 20-year-old kid was like, I was pitching this client and it's like this long, like, one of those broems on, LinkedIn about I pitched this client and and then he told me he was going with another agency and I realized it was Hawke Media, the $150 million agency with over 200 employees and blah, blah, blah. And I realized I'm not competing with other young gunners. I'm competing with some of the biggest companies in the world. And then he like tagged me and he said, I'm coming for you, Erik Huberman. I don't think he expected me to respond with game on, buddy. But my point being is the irony of his post is like, I talk about it a lot here. That's my competition is like, yeah, you can go hire 20-year-old kid to try to manage your marketing if your aspirations are to have what that turns into. But if you want to win a Super Bowl, hire a team that's already been there. And by the way, we're one of the only teams that have done it that's willing to work with you. And that's not meant to be belittling. It's just, that's the fact. Omnicom, WPP, Publicis, Havas, all these big guys, they're not talking to you. Vayner, we talked about Gary. I'm talking to Gary tomorrow. I should see him. And they don't work with SMBs anymore. And so if you're not a Fortune 2000, that's an easy answer. The other way is actually interesting too, because we don't seek out the big guys, but we get a lot of them. And it's because when you build an infrastructure for the bigger brands, you become bureaucratic. You become kind of heavy. And so when the big guys now need nimble and need, sort of SWAT team style marketing, where it's like, come in, make this happen. This is the kind of stuff we need to do, and we need to do it fast. We win those deals now too, because they, like, again, an Omnicom or WP can't move fast enough.
How much of you leading your business is you focused on the fundamentals of the business, the operations, and how much is you out setting the vision and finding the big next fish to land?
Yeah, it's
or to grow. Because it doesn't look like
I guess I'm just fascinated by anybody that grows a business to the point where we have $150 million business. Like, as the leader of that thing, are you focused on what we're doing in the business, or are we focused on where we're going with the business?
It changes depending on where the weak spots are too, to be clear. Because but the kind of steady state is a third strategic with my leadership, because I do have leaders, in the business. A third really focused on the growth side, which it's some of that strategic stuff is with my growth team, but I'm like on the calls with our sales team. I literally, before this, I hung up with one of our top sellers, figuring out how to scale him and what support we can provide him to get bigger and better. And like, I'm looking at the weeds of our growth side a lot. And about a third of my time is being on podcasts, waving the flag, beating the drum, like being the face of the franchise, so to speak.
You just need to have one person on your team dedicated to looking on Amazon for the newest released books, reaching out to every one of those authors and saying, how do we help you get to the next level? You'll find the next $1 million company in there.
There's a lot of books being released on Amazon. I think you're going to kiss a lot of frogs doing that.
Okay, but you got enough people in there to kiss some frogs to find that. Guys, we've been talking with Erik Huberman, and just to be clear, while we're talking about books on Amazon, you can get the Hawke method on Amazon. It's available other places as well. You just go on Amazon because it's where we all go, right? Search the Hawke method. There is an E on Hawke, right? Such as Ethan Hawke spells it, which we mentioned earlier in the conversation. Folks, I'm looking at it. It's not even $10.
Yeah, I slid it to Ethan Hawke.
I clicked buy now while we're talking because it was like not even $10. Fine, right?
We're not doing it we're doing it to cover costs. Like I actually give it away to a lot of it's taught at like NYU, Columbia, MBA, and a bunch of other schools, and I give it away to the kids for free. Like, that's not a revenue stream for us. We do that to like educate the world, get our name out there.
It's funny hearing this 30-something saying he's giving it away to the kids for free. Come on, you still.
Hey, they're in their 20s. I've done a few talks. Yeah.
You said the 3 core elements: awareness, nurturing, and trust.
Yep.
Okay, so folks, we heard Erik talk about that already. Erik, give me a 4th thing that if I read this book, I'd walk away with, other than just knowing that it's awareness, nurturing, trust, and how to build that. What's the 4th secret hidden in the book?
Let's see. Those are the 3 categories, but I'm trying to think what within that. Yeah, the number one thing people miss when it comes to marketing is the nurturing piece and the idea of a sales cycle, especially when it comes to digital marketing, because everybody gets too into their spreadsheets and forgets that, like, from the first time I see an ad to the time I buy takes time. I'm saying this now and everyone's like, yeah, no shit. Yeah, good luck when you go watch your ad performance and that month you spent $5,000 and you didn't make $5,000 back and you're going, this isn't working. Remember this, because this is where a lot of people screw up, is they cut off their nose to spite their face because they don't understand they've built this new audience, but no, they have a sales cycle. And if you're a real estate agent, it could be 5 years, 10 years. So like measuring everything on a month by month, week by week basis, which a lot of people get stuck in because of the way Meta and Google and all these digital channels display it, is a huge problem in how people mess up growing their businesses.
Okay, so we've been talking awareness, nurturing, trust. We've been talking marketing, right? Folks, Meta and Google, right? You don't have to be everywhere. You have to be powerful in the right places. That would be like being, I guess, on, ABC, CBS, NBC, or being on like that channel that, only shows up the infomercials late at night or something like that. Mm-hmm. You want to be in the right place. Erik's made that very clear to us. He's also made it clear to us how to get out there. Now, Erik, through all of that, you've also dropped a few nuggets. If I asked you to give everybody just one amazing marketing takeaway, other than get your reviews out there, what would be the thing you would tell every one of our salespeople listening right now?
Yeah, so I talked about trust and getting your reviews out there, all that. And so the other side of that, which I did mention, was building your own brand through consistency. So your brand, who you are, if you're an individual real estate person or you're a company, whatever, it's about consistency of what you deliver, good and bad. So when I say, what is the worst customer service companies? What are the worst customer service companies?
Comcast.
There you go. It's always Comcast, Verizon, AT&T. It's either a cable service or a wireless provider. By the way, why? Because everyone has bad experiences. What comes to mind when I say historically the best customer service company? They're known for it.
Well, I'd probably say Nordstrom's.
Okay, fair.
From the times I've gone there.
Zappos is what comes up most of the time.
Zappos, yeah. Oh, they were fantastic. I used to work right next door to Zappos. They would have phone calls for like 15 hours for customer service. Yeah.
Right. And so there's two parts of this that are important. Number one is what you do consistently will become your brand, good and bad. Okay. And so like if I say unhealthy food, what do you think?
McDonald's?
Right. That's their brand. That's not good. I said fast food, you'd say the same thing. Maybe that's a good thing. It's like it's all these different things. And so what you deliver consistently becomes your brand. So be intentional about it. On top of that, though, a little trick that can help you move in the right direction. You can't completely fool people, but you can at least push it. Zappos is the good example. Why do we all know Zappos? And why did you mention that 15 hours? Where did you hear about that 15 hours?
I actually heard about it in their own office.
Okay, so that's different. Most people heard about it because they have a book called Delivering Happiness where they talk about how great they are at customer service. Yeah. When you talk about your brand and you say, this is who we are, like me saying we're the best at what we do and easy to work with, after a while, people believe that. And unless you do something really incredibly strong to dissuade them, they now see you as that brand. So there's a lot, and even like, and I'm not speaking to whether I support them or not, but like even Make America Great Again, hearing it over and over and over again starts to say something to people. And so by talking about what you want your brand to be and then living it, that is the best way to build a brand. And what happens is, going back to that last piece, if I call Comcast and I have a good customer service experience, my response is, I guess there's one person there.
Yep.
If I call them and have a bad customer service experience, I go, yeah, see, they suck. If I call Zappos and have a good customer service experience, I go, oh, great. See, they're great. Everyone knows they're great. If I have a bad customer service experience with Zappos, I go, oh, it must have been that one person having a bad day.
Right.
It's, confirmation bias is what that's called. And it's a big, big mover of how people think and work. And the way Zappos achieved that is through pushing it and then delivering. They actually did stand by it and made it a part of their culture. But a big part of that was talking about it. But because that also drove the internal action as well.
So clearly, audience, if you're engaging with me, you're going to get hard nose, tough love, sarcasm.
Yep.
That's my brand, and it's not going to change.
Right. And then what that's going to do is attract the people that matters to, that want the hard nose.
There will be some people that will run away, cry, and say, that Chad guy, no. And then there'll be some people who are like, yeah, I want to ask him because I know what I'm going to get and I can handle it. That's what I'm looking for.
It goes back to, again, the bad things to certain people won't matter because the good outweighs the bad depending on what their priorities are.
So audience, let's ask you this. Who are you? What are you consistently? Because whether that's what you think you are or not, that is what you are to everybody else because it's what you are consistently.
Well, now back to your original question about value proposition. Now figure out what's missing in the market and how can you be that? What's wrong with all the other agents? Why do people not like what's happening? Why would they switch to you? And how do you double down on that and become known for that? So all those people dealing with that problem want to come to you.
There you go. Tough love solutions, come here.
Exactly.
Right? People run away from them, and some people know that's the way to get where you're going. I will be happy to put a foot up your behind, folks. Don't hesitate
to that point, how many coaches would just give you lip service and make you feel good so you keep coming back?
No, that right. You ain't getting that from me if you want me as your coach, folks.
And it's not useful, but that is the problem in the industry is it's just lip service.
Yes. Excellent. Love that. All right. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. You said so much. There might be something you have. There might be something you didn't mention that's got nothing to do with any of this or that you just want to pull from your heart and share. Folks, if you want to know more, the website is Hawke Media. HawkeMedia.com. Sorry, I'm staring at the book on my screen because I ordered it. HawkeMedia.com. If you want to know more, you want to connect, you want to find out about what these guys might even be able to do for your business. The Hawke Method is the book. If you're on Amazon, there's an E on Hawke on all of this. You also have your own podcast where you're sharing interesting stories, which is called Hawke Talk.
Yep. All one word.
All one word on that, folks. So if you want more Erik, you know where you can go get it, or at least get his company, and you can be sure his company is the same as him because he's consistently who he is. So he attracts those people into his world. The last 30 seconds before we wrap it up, and it's been great without Bob. Folks, his system crashed, or at least he thinks so. I just got rid of him. I wanted the conversation to myself. The last 30 seconds is yours. What do you want to repeat or share that didn't come out of your mouth yet?
No, I would say, again, it's about consistency. We're also happy to help anyone out there. I mean, as we talked about with the shiny object, like one of the newest things we are doing is GEO and optimizing for AI. So if someone goes to ChatGPT and goes, who should I help sell my house here in Santa Monica? We actually know how to optimize that and have invested in a company that's doing a lot of great work in that space. So we are always happy to give guidance, advice. Feel free to reach out. We have a team of people here that are literally just coaching companies on their marketing on a regular basis, because we know if we give them good advice, eventually they're going to want us to do the work too. So we know what goes around comes around. It's pretty transparent in that way.
And a huge congratulations to you and your organization. I think I heard Bob, who stalked you, mention something at the beginning of the call. You guys just got ranked #1 for something.
Yeah, fastest growing company in LA. So we're the fastest growing company in Los Angeles currently. And we were up there on the Inc. 5000 too. We were, I think, number 100 and something fastest growing company in the country. But LA was a fun one. The LA Times just put it out. Congratulations to you. Frame that and make sure you print that post by Dana White bragging that you kicked his butt, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, as you know, we're going to have a great time, bring you great value. Reach out to Ethan's company, or Erik. See, I'm thinking Hawke again. I did it. And I'm usually so good at this stuff. Reach out to Erik's company if you want to learn more about him. Check out the book. You'll be able to find more that way. Erik, we really appreciate you taking the time, hanging out with us, and sharing today. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Until our next episode, folks, as always, do good.